This past weekend was the San Diego Comic-Con, and y'all, Yen Press has established they are the shoujo manga publisher. They're the ones feeding us. They are number one because y'all, they went all out once again, and I am just left reeling in excitement. Hello friends, happy Monday. So very excited that you're here. So excited that we had a con this past weekend, that we have several new licenses to talk about. Not only that, but we had several, at least three, or maybe it was just three, but at least three different anime announcements for brand new anime coming in. I believe they're all 2027. And I'm just like, whoa, what a whirlwind this past week was. K-Manga especially had three different series, but before that, we had a new chapter of First Love, Worst Love being chapter 14. This was a really sweet chapter. I don't know how much to say except for her friend. Oh my goodness, like the guy in this illustration, not Yori-kun. I love him. They have such a great platonic friendship that's really fun and exciting to see that there's no romance there. They're just great friends, and seeing how much similar taste they have was just a really fun chapter to see. Though we did have a moment with Yori, and we're seeing our female lead really, I think she's starting to come into her feelings and starting to realize that she genuinely does like Yori because she got him a gift and she didn't have to, but she wanted to see him smile. So I'm like, girl, let's go, let's go. Still hoping that before this year ends that we will get this physically and print. But K-Manga, as I said before, had three different series added to their website / app. We actually have all three of these in English already. They were announced physically last year. Well, I mean physically and like digital ebooks, but that is Drawing From Your Memory, Hitting Rewind with You, and Love Out on a Limb. I was really surprised to see all three of them. Honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised at this point if we see Love at First Memory. I'm like, are you adding all of the series that were physically announced last year to your website? Which isn't a bad thing because it's a really great way to try these. I do have a first impression of Hitting Rewind with You. Admit it was probably not the best first impression video that I've done because I didn't super love that volume, and I explained why. I did enjoy volume 2 a lot more. Still need to read volume 3, Love Out on a Limb. I'm waiting for the whole series to wrap up before I try it because I absolutely adore Yoko Nagiri's work. And then Drawing From Your Memory was actually really exciting for me personally because I have heard several friends compare this to Orange. Like if you like Orange, chances are that you might like this, but I haven't really been interested in enough where I'm willing to buy it physically. So knowing I could try it for free out on the app, I'm like, hey, yeah, that is perfect for me because I'm not really sure if my library has, I know they have Hitting Rewind with You, but I don't know if they have the other two. So if you've been wanting to try them as well, now you have the perfect opportunity. But as I shared at the beginning of this video, San Diego Comic-Con was this past weekend, and it was such a whirlwind. We didn't have like a lot of different publishers. I mean, here's the graphic that I made sharing, highlighting which publishers were going to be doing which. But I guess too, before we get there, because I almost forgot to mention, as they weren't officially at San Diego Comic-Con, but they did have licenses as well, and that's Cross Infinite World. They had two different villainous series. I'm like, yes, the villainesses are thriving. I love to see it. It's not going to be the only villainous title that we'll talk about actually. So I was really excited. But this first one was really cute. It's called From Bumbling Prodigy to Villainous. Will the Duke's Love Go Unnoticed? And I guess this female lead, she is supposed to marry this Duke. They're supposed to be married for like 3 years and then they're going to divorce. And during that time, she has to play the role of the villainess. But I guess she's so quirky that people are naturally drawn towards her or to her. And I'm sort of wondering that probably that they're not actually going to get divorced when the 3 years ends. To be determined. I really love the cover of this a lot. And they did say it's going to be releasing in September. And they also confirmed for this title and the next one, they will be coming to print at some point in time. Now, this one, I'm really seriously thinking of getting this because I've never seen a series, a villainous series like this. And it's called The Villainess's Journal, Newlywed Life of an Obsessive Researcher. Seems to be a romantic fantasy light novel series. And our female lead, she enters into an arranged marriage with this guy who has, I guess, an icy or seems to have an icy personality. And the reason she's doing that is because if she doesn't, her father is going to burn up her magic circle research that she has. So to keep that from happening, she's like, well, I'll play the role of the villainess and marry this man and be this obsessive researcher. This one also has a really awesome, amazing cover. And I'm like, wow, this just looks really good. This one's going to be coming in October. And I really love how it says, join our female lead as she journals about her antics as a newlywed obsessive researcher turned villainess. So this just sounds like a very fascinating series, and I'm very interested and curious about it. I will have to wait for it to come to print though, because I don't read ebooks digitally at all, at least when it comes to novels. So hopefully it will be, I would hope that by the beginning of next year that we get physically in print. I'll definitely try and sample the preview, no doubts about that, because of how cool it sounds, and just very thankful that the villainesses are thriving. When it came to the San Diego Comic-Con, what I was saying before, then remembered about these, is that Manga Mavericks did have a few announcements, but the one that I was most interested in, like, wow, I can't believe that they did something like this. They are establishing a indie manga alliance, and I am so hyped for this. It's called the Independent Manga Alliance, and it says that they're going to be assisting manga creators, indie manga publishers by providing distribution, marketing, and sales support within the English market. And if you go down a little bit in this tweet, you can see who is all part of it, and I just think this is a very incredible thing, because indie manga publishers are really on the rise right now, and we have talked about time and time again, it feels like, of how they are just delivering series that bigger publishers are not picking up, that have said, we don't feel this is worth the time, we don't feel this is worth the energy, and it's not going to sell. And then we see these other publishers pick it up, and boom, like, I mean, Manga Mavericks just had a classic shoujo manga that seems to be doing really good, because somebody from Manga Mavericks said that shoujo manga fans really show up for these releases. And it's like, yes, we've tried telling manga publishers this. So it's really nice to know that there's an organization of these indie manga publishers in the US who can stand strong together during the ups and downs of our economy in the US especially, and can endure through all of the hardships of the tariffs, all of that, and continue to offer manga to interested readers, because I know I have been very excited for different things that Manga Mavericks has put out. I haven't gotten anything from the other publishers or team members that are listed here, but I am very curious as to, again, what's going to come out of this. But when it came to licenses that were at San Diego Comic-Con, I really feel like Udon a little bit stole the show. That I'm going to say right off the bat, it was such a bummer that we got no updates about Sugar Sugar Ruin. But let me pause right here just real fast, because somebody actually offered to go to Udon's booth. I don't think they've responded as of filming this video. No, they haven't responded to my message, but they did say they would be willing to go to the booth and ask questions about it, because it's like, well, we haven't gotten Sugar Sugar Ruin, and we haven't gotten really any recent updates in a few months of No Roses Without Thorns, and I've been seeing a lot of people mention about Rosa Versailles. Apparently there is one more volume that's supposed to be releasing, and I'm like, what? I didn't even realize. So that admittedly was a bummer, but I also do want to say that the 3 titles that they shared about sounds really, really good, and I definitely would love to get all of them, especially this first one that just looks absolutely stunning, and that's Department Store Waltz. I'm not familiar with this. I forgot to look really into it. I've seen art for it. It's very beautiful. It says it's an all-color manga and illustration book set in the early 20th century department store. So I'm very curious as exactly what that entails. I think that one was complete, but this next one, I found a Japanese listing, or a Japanese edition, excuse me, that was listed on Amazon. I saw it somewhere, and it's supposed to be some kind of magazine. Here it's saying Rondo, the ladies graphic magazine. And yeah, Udon is officially giving us the US edition, because when I first saw the Japanese edition, I had shared about it in several different servers, and one server specifically warned me, like a few people were like, you know, I probably wouldn't get that because it's not translated. It was really bummed, because it definitely like took the wind out of my sails, because I'm like, man, even if it's not, just to see the art would be more than enough for me. But I'm like, okay, I guess I won't get it. But seeing that Udon physically picked it up, I'm like, yes! I'm really glad that I am waiting. I definitely would love to get it. There's no like release date at all, by the way, for these, and I'm truly hoping it won't take too long. I do know that same person that went to the con, they did say that Veil Volume 5 and 6 and 2 other series that Udon is releasing that are specifically manga, they did share some kind of update of when they will be releasing. So that was encouraging to see, but they had one more, and I guess it's a good tie-in with Veil, because the creator of Veil is actually part of this anthology that they are releasing, and that is Belle's Ruelles. I am so obsessed with this cover. I love it. It's supposedly an anthology series that's going to be 4 to 5 different volumes. I'm not really sure how long, but it's based in this town that these creators have made up, and I guess it focuses on these different shops and facilities that are there. I have seen a lot of excitement for this in the past. When Veil got picked up all those years ago, whenever it was, a lot of people were like, please get this one as well because it's just as good, even if it has different creators that are part of it. And I did look in, and I know somebody did mention a few of the creators part of it outside of the Veil artists. I did not recognize any of the names, unfortunately, but that's not uncommon for me also, unfortunately. But I feel based off the cover alone and hearing other people share that it should be really good. And I'm like, okay, I will be seated. I definitely want all three of these. But Yen Press, as I said, they really stole the show, I think, ultimately in the sense of this is not the first time this year, 2026, that they have licensed really big shoujo series that the community has been begging and asking for, thinking other publishers, aka Viz Media / Shoujo Be, that they would be the ones to pick it up. And Yen's like, hey, wait, no, we here, bestie, we see you. Like, I'm not sure if any publisher is going to be able to dethrone Yen, and like, they've just raised the bar so high. That's not to say there might not be really amazing licenses from other publishers and I might get a win, but I feel just overall like Yen Press, they are the shoujo publisher for fans. It's really, really awesome. But this first one is technically not a shoujo. And I just wanted to mention it because I really have wanted some kind of like sports series, which technically we got Dig It. That was a huge win for me. We talked about that in a previous video and I was so very excited. Still am. I'm like, where is the pre-order for it? Because several of the other licenses from that announcement time are already up, but Dig It is not one of them, unfortunately. But this one is Mane Nichi Nichi Baseball Manager Every Day. It's by the same creator as Teasing Master Takagi-san, which was sort of like, oh, I enjoyed what I've seen and read up that one. And it seems to be about just 3 different girls. One of them's a gal, one of them's a team manager because her boyfriend's on the team, and the other one just popular but knows nothing about baseball. She's just here. And I'm like, this sounds like it could be a really cute series. So I definitely would like to look into it because I am just very curious. And I think it looks cute too, seeing the cover. And I'm like, yes, for gals. I love seeing gals in manga so much. Now though, we can go into the shoujo manga licenses. And I hope I can talk about this one very positively because I do not have positive feelings after checking it out on Manga Plaza because you can read the first 4 chapters for free. And that is The Dragon Prince's Ill-Mated Betrothal. This is about our female lead. She lived down below, like there's islands, and I guess the dragonkin live on these islands, and she's admired everything that she has heard about these islands, about the dragonkin alone. And then she finds out that for her 17th birthday, she's going to have to marry the 3rd prince of the dragonkin. And that doesn't sound like too bad, I guess you would say. But then you see how he treats her, or the lack of treatment he gives her in the opening 4 chapters, and you can see that she's very, very unhappy. She's also got some kind of physical ailment that really affects her and her strength. To top that, like the people, the dragonkin, just don't view humans positively, like at all. And it's interesting because the blurb says here that there's like a twisted and deadly plot, which does make sense about the deadly part. The story doesn't end there. It says 250 years later, history begins to repeat itself with another invitation and the unknown secrets that lie beyond it. I'm not sure how much to say on that based off the first 4 chapters, but I do agree with other people that this was surprisingly more, I don't know if political is quite the right word. You can definitely tell there's some secrets, but it just really upset me of how the male lead just wants nothing to do with the female lead. And I really do not see myself, this is labeled as a romance, but I cannot see myself changing my view of the male lead. Especially when you see how he treated somebody else in the past. I'm like, girl, you need to ditch him, go for the 1st prince, or just find your way out of all this mess and not even be involved. I don't want to be negative though, because I am very excited for everybody who was genuinely like hyped for this. And as I said, if you would like to give it a try, it is on Manga Plaza. The art is very beautiful. I'm cheering for the heroine. If you think that I might feel differently and have read past the first 4 chapters, please don't hesitate to let me know, because originally I was definitely planning to get this, but I, again, just don't know how I'm going to feel about that male lead and just how he was acting. This next one, yes, another villainous title, and that is The Villainesses Are Unwavering. It seems to be that this is 3 villainesses versus 1 saint. And I said, hello, I'm here for this. All I needed to know, honestly, because let's see, you have one of the villainesses who's engaged to the crown prince. And then you have the other two girls who I believe are engaged, I will say in quotes, to other important people that are part of the nobility. And this saint comes in, and I guess she is not of noble standing, and she's just sort of trying to, I feel like she really lives out that typical cliche of like in a villainous series where you have the villainess who's treated really poorly, and then you have the saint who's bright, bubbly, and is stealing away the prince, and is supposedly like she just rises up to her position of what she has, and everybody's obsessed with her. And I guess how this manga seems, these three girls are being viewed as a villainess because of how sunny and bubbly this saint seems to be. I am very, very curious. I'm very excited. This is a manga that runs in Flo's Comics, so this is the second one because the Dragonkin one is also in Flo's Comic. I said, okay, all right, get impression. You're just picking all these titles up from them. So definitely getting this one, and I have heard from the few people who have read it, who have mentioned it online, that they really enjoyed it. It's definitely a hidden gem. And I said, hey, listen, when it came to villainesses, you guys know I'm there. And so I will definitely be here for this. And I really love the cover a lot, and I'm really curious of how this story is gonna unfold, especially for this next one. This one, I feel like is my biggest win from the con, because a while back when I asked for recommendations for second chance romance, because I tried First Love, and I'm like, man, this is really good. I'm like, where are other second chance romances in English? I didn't get any except for this one. And it's been sort of like on my TBR, on my radar, I guess more accurately to say. That's my First Love with You again. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that Yen picked this up. This is absolutely amazing. I don't know too much about it except for in terms of that it is a second chance romance, but I guess the leads, they were dating in middle school, and she had all her firsts with him and so much more than just like first kiss, first hug, first boyfriend, and all of those things. They go to high school together, and I guess, or I think they go to high school. Something happens though where she ends up transferring somewhere. I don't know if it is high school, but she transfers, and she still thinks of him so much. And through some wild chance, she actually ends up meeting him when in college, and she's so shocked and she's so excited to see him, but he's not the same boy, the same man he was when she knew him. I have heard that he is, I don't know if jerk's the right word. I think playboy might be a little bit more accurate, but I'm not really sure about that either. I did see somebody say though, they're like, please give this man a chance. He has some of the best character development that there is. So I'm assuming he doesn't have the best reputation in the beginning. I have really enjoyed though everything I've seen of it, so I don't feel necessarily worried. And I understand that like second chance romance can be pretty messy in the beginning with that second chance. So, you know, of course, like you're gonna be dealing with your feelings that they're not the same, and very interested in seeing if like they get together and if she still cares for him, and just how different is this young man. So yeah, color me intrigued. This is definitely a very, very strong pickup for me. I mean, even if I couldn't get the ones from Udon, yes, this would be the number one that I am picking up. I cannot wait. I've actually tried a different series by this creator called I, My, Me, Mine. I know I've mentioned it in a past video. I don't remember which one, but I know I have. And that one seemed so cute. So I'm like, yes, hopefully this one does really well, that we can get some of her other work maybe in English. It's not nearly as popular as this one though. This is like the big one that people have been asking for years. Like I remember Colleen Manga Rex, they had this manga on their license wish list for Viz for years, I'm pretty sure. At least a good year. It wasn't on their last one that they had for Viz's announcement. So I know that they're excited for this. I know that they are. And not just that, I think this next one is probably the ultimate biggest win that came out of this con, even greater than this one. I wouldn't say this is high personally for me just because of how much I have wanted this second chance romance, but I cannot deny that so many people have been begging for years, y'all. And that is Champignon Witch. Oh my goodness. I saw this and my jaw dropped. I could not believe it. I mean, yes, I could. If anybody's gonna make it happen, it's gonna be Yen Press. That's why they're our shoujo bestie, y'all. This is really surreal. Like, even being able to talk about, like, hey, this is getting physically printed, because I think in a recent video, maybe it was a few months ago, and I'm just being delulu right now on the time, but it was the video of top 5 manga that I can't believe are not printed in English that have an anime. And I don't think I featured this one in that, but I definitely know there were several people who would say, yes, this is my number one. Friends, that time is now. Friends, that time is here. You are getting this manga in English. From what I have seen and know about it, our female lead, she is surrounded, like she's outcasted. And I think she's because she's got, okay, yeah, she's created, I guess, some kind of poisonous mushroom house and she's breathing in this toxic fungi. And so she doesn't really have anybody around her from my understanding. But what I've seen of like clips of the anime, people enter into her world and she enters into theirs. And so she's being able to be around people because it seems that's something she really wants to be. She wants to be accepted and just wants to make friends kind of thing. Not to like sound cliche, but I think there's a very heartfelt and deep story here. And I'm very curious to try it because originally it still might come down to budgeting, unfortunately, because there's just so much that is coming out, y'all. There's just so much coming out. But I got a reply to my Instagram story that said, hey, since you've mentioned you like Colette Decides to Die and Story of the Red Hair, I really think you should check this out. And I said, okay, done, sold. If you're mentioning two new favorite series, and Story of the Red Hair, been a favorite, but my recent review of Colette Decides to Die, I said how much I love that. And it gave me those same feelings as Story of the Red Hair. If it's having even just a little bit of that similar feeling that I felt for those series, then yes, I need to check this out. So I'm hoping, I'm going to try and make it work. And I am just I'm so overjoyed for everybody who got a really, really massive win with this. It was a truly incredible way. I mean, yes, Kodansha did have licenses. There was nothing, unfortunately, for me, and I'm not really sure if anything was shoujo. There was only one series that I was a little bit unsure of, but I felt overall that Yen Press, that they stole the show. They wrapped up the con for at least the manga panels in such an exciting way, and I'm just like, good luck, future me's wallet. Hang in there, you're gonna need it. But if you really have been curious about some anime and like what anime are we going to be getting, the three new ones, the first one I've actually never heard of, and it seems to be called Yura Yura Q. This is a series that serializes in the Hanatsuyume, not just Hanatsuyume, but the at the very beginning, and I heard it's by the same creator as Sweetness and Lightning, as well as the Galaxy Next Door, and I'm like, they have a shoujo series? So I'm like, I had no idea, but it seems to be about a wobbly fox girl is what the translation is giving me here. Heartwarming comedy is about to begin. I didn't think to look into it because I had forgotten it had been announced, and unfortunately, in light of this one, I say unfortunately that it sort of went under my radar, I do apologize, but Studio Cabana. It has been officially announced that we are getting an anime in 2027, and it is just absolutely surreal to be getting the manga after so much time that people have been begging and begging for this. Then to also get the anime, like, wow. And not only with that, I thought very interesting that apparently the anime production studio here is doing a thing where they're asking fans to submit or vote for which male singer they would like to do the singing of the male lead in the anime. I have never seen that before, so that left me very optimistic personally because I'm like, what? Like, they're getting fans involved? Like, that's definitely some really excited investment of just the community to be involved in this process. In case if you're not familiar with this series, it's about our female lead. I think she's a really hardworking student, and there's a classmate who is the male lead where she feels she has nothing in common with him at all. I'm not really sure if he's got like delinquent vibes or more of just keeps to himself kind of thing, but it seems like she's really trying to befriend him and it's just not working. And I think she ends up like following him in a non-stalker kind of way home, but he doesn't go home. He ends up going to a music store, or she bumps into him or something, and she sees him make an expression that she's never seen him make before. And somehow that ends up leading to them having a romance of some kind. Not really sure how we get from point A to point B, but it is one I definitely am picking up this year. I've heard so many great things about it and very excited for the anime as well as the manga. I think the manga comes out in December as well because there's like a whole bunch of shoujo that's coming from Yen. Yeah, it sounded really, really awesome. And the last one, I'm not surprised that we are getting. I'll say why in just a second. That is because I, the true saint, was banished. That country is done for. And the reason I'm not surprised is because I'm like, maybe something's coming because I've never seen anybody read this series, but yeah, Kodansha has a part of their print club. So if you want to read this digitally or physically, you can. I did try I think chapter 1 or chapter 2, or chapter 1 and chapter 2, I mean, has a very typical villainous-like opening in my opinion, where she is there with her fiance, who is the crown prince or the second prince, one of the princes, and he has a pretty girl staying beside him, and he's like, I do not want you, Saint. All you do is pray all the time. You're boring. Just get out. I don't want you anymore. And so he exiles her, and she's like, oh, okay, since I've been banished, see you later. Well, the Saint leaves, and disaster strikes. Like, we have a giant dragon that's coming and terrorizing the town, and the town is pretty much done for, and that's when you go over to the prince. He's the prince. He should be making good decisions, right? I mean, this is what we would expect. Yeah, but no. He takes his pretty girl, goes to the bunker, and everybody's like, hey, what should we do? You know, tell us what to do, Your Majesty. He's like, see ya, I'm staying here with my girl. Good luck up on the surface. And I'm like, oh, bro, it's just gonna leave us people like that? Yeah, and that's pretty much where I had stopped reading. I would be interested in reading more, though, because she is very amazed she ends up going on like some kind of trip since she is, you know, banished, but she just seems to be finding life and not having to worry about people saying these negative things about her, because why is it in these saintly manga where like the saints are doing like the too perfect saint down here? You know, she's done so much, yet the people are complaining. It's like, oh, when she's gone, then you realize how helpful she was and how overworked, because she was doing so much to help this country. They'll learn the hard way, unfortunately, and I'm sorry that they have that kind of crown prince, though, that's just gonna go hide and protect himself, and yeah, doesn't seem to care for his people. I do apologize to them, because it was very interesting. I hadn't seen that kind of reaction of the crown prince in any kind of manga like that. So that's also going to be coming in 2027, and I don't think any of these had an official month. They just said, yeah, coming in 2027 at some point. So that's definitely something very exciting to look forward to, as well as if you're a Kami-sama Kiss fan, because this came out of nowhere. Crunchyroll dropping a tweet saying, hey, if you're interested in watching the special episodes of Kami-sama Kiss, you can watch them on Crunchyroll right now. I'm not really sure if the dub is up or if it's just subbed, but there were a lot of people very excited to know that the OVA is there, so definitely you can tune in for that. And if you're a fan of dub, oh my goodness, Though I Am an Internet Villainous is getting a dubbed as well, or at least getting a dubbed, I should say as well, since I don't know about the Kami-sama Kiss, but it is getting a dubbed, and I'm so excited because I've watched the first 2 episodes thus far. When I'm filming this video, I haven't seen the 3rd one yet, and it is so good. I would highly recommend it. It is not your typical villainous slop. I'm sorry, I will never let that comment go that somebody said that. I'm like, you haven't even watched it. Like, please, no. But anyway, yes, I love it very much, and I knew for the anime stuff I had to close on there because I'm like, yes, it is so wonderful. And to wrap up this video, let's talk about 2 different cover reveals that I came across. One of these I don't really feel is super, like, it's been around, I feel like, but I still wanted to share it, and that is Volume 1 of Yang Can't Live Alone. I'm not a huge fan of the text, but I love the cover a lot. I think it's really pretty. I do have this on pre-order already because it just sounded up my alley, and wanted to support it because it just sounded like a fun read, to be honest. That is the cover that they have. I admit, though, I saved my favorite for last, and that is going to be from Shoujo Beat. That is Zero of the Dawn, the 3-in-1 Volume 2. Look at this cover! I'm sad that Sinha didn't get the main cover, but I really love this one of Geej, and I just think it looks really pretty. They're doing such a great job with these 3-in-1s, and I especially love that spine. It is absolutely beautiful. I'm not really sure when this is coming, but I do feel that Shoujo Beat's doing a good job with the covers at the very least. I'm very excited for people who wanted to check out this series but were overwhelmed or just couldn't commit to getting the singles. The 3-in-1 option is now here. I really hope that you saw something exciting manga license this past weekend, or manhwa, because there was like I think 2 of those at least. And I know Webtoons had a panel and they were going to be announcing things, but I haven't seen anything before filming this video to be able to share it. If I see something though, we can talk about next week. And so yeah, let me know down below if you got any wins, what you're most excited for, whether that's manga or anime or both. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!